Welcome to the channel. I'm Bill, and today we're continuing on with this project of working on these two structures here. I'll let you know what we're building here in a few minutes, so let's jump into this video. Let's see if this thing fits. Yes, it does. Let's see if this fits. Fits pretty good. This is the back door. You'll be able to lower it down like this and then get in and clean it all out. This is what I have done so far. We got all four walls on this one, and as I just showed, this will fold down as like a back door type scenario. And then this one I got to the same state, and it was gonna have a fold down back door just like that one, but I don't think I need it on this one because it's a little bit smaller. It's 2 feet shorter on the one on the length, so I don't think I need it. I'm just gonna nail this back door in place and it'll just be a permanent back wall. Let's get that nailed in right now. It's several days later and we finally got a beautiful day out here. For about the last week, it's been absolutely cold and rainy like every single day. So on this beautiful day, we're back out here. Have you figured out what I'm building yet? Well, now's the time. I'm building an extreme cold weather Alaska pig houses. That's right, these are for pigs. This first one is 4x4 and it is for the boar. That's why it's a little bit smaller. And this one is a 4x6 and it is for the sow in case she happens to get pregnant in the middle of the winter time. The piglets have a little bit of room to get out from under her in case she goes to lay down on them or anything like that. And also this back door, so since it's a little bit bigger, it's easier to clean out. Today, we're gonna start on the roofs of these pig houses. So let's just jump right into it. There's many different roofs I could put on this, and on this size of a pig house, really anything would work, but I'm going to go with a traditional pitched roof, and it's going to be a 12-12 pitch. So let's go over and start cutting some wood. On this one, the sow house, I am going with a double top plate only because of this door right here, so I can have it like this, and I need something for the upright to sit on. This one's not having the back door on it, so I'm just going to use what's right here and just go with this. So I don't need a double top plate on this one. Let's get this nailed in. This is what I got accomplished today. I got the top plate put on this one, and then I got the ridge beam set here, and then I got the ridge beam set on this one also. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Another beautiful day here on the homestead, so let's just jump right into this. I got some plywood sitting here. I need to get it cut and put it on the sides before I can put the rafters on. So let's get this done. All these rafters are just sitting here. They're not nailed in or anything like that. But it took me several hours and a lot of frustration to make sure I got all the cuts and all the angles and everything correct. I finally was able to do that. And the next part is to actually nail these in. So let's go and do that. I probably should set all these other ones down before they fall off and break or do some damage. Hi bunnies, how are you? We gotta wait till Lola decides to eat her piece of banana so I can give you guys some. Hi Babs, how are you? Now that I got the fire going, let's turn our attention back to the pig houses and start back on the roof. Today's mission is get the overhangs put on that come right down through here from the end of the ridge beam. There's one on each side and they stick out 1 foot. I want to get that put on and also the plywood on the roof. So let's get busy and stop wasting daylight. I had to dig out 2 more 2x4s from way back in there. I think you can see that from right in there. And now they're over here. One's right here and the other one's up here on the sawhorse. This is my pattern that I've been using and I got it marked on both ends. So let's go ahead and cut this. The outside rafter is going to hang flush with the end, so it's going to come right down like this. So I need to measure this part to see how long I have. Then I'll subtract off the width of the rafter to get the length of my blocks that I'm going to put in here. So this is 10 inches to the outside. Let's just confirm on this side. Yes, 10 inches. So 10 inches minus whatever the thickness of this outside rafter is will tell me how long my block will be that I put in here to hold the outside rafter on. Let's measure the front and I'll meet you guys back over at the saw. We're back over here at the saw, and you might be wondering why am I burning good plywood? Well, it's not really good plywood. A lot of this plywood sat out before I was able to get it, and it had got really moldy, stuff like that. Some of it has a bunch of concrete on it or mud on it, just stuff like that. It's broken, cracked really bad, stuff like that. So I'm just burning it. I don't want to mess with the mold and that type of stuff. Just better just to get rid of it and move on. Overhang on the back was exactly 10 inches, but on the front was 10 and 11/16. So I'm going to have to measure the thickness of the boards and subtract that off. That way I know how long my blocks need to be. My saw runs off of 2 60-amp batteries, and when they start getting low, after I'm done making the cut, the light that's on it will start blinking to notify you that the batteries are getting low. And it's starting to blink now. And also, it's starting to sprinkle outside. So let's go inside, charge up these batteries, and I'll probably do a little editing, and I'll see you guys later. The fire's still burning, but it is starting to wind down. I'm sure you can see there's no plywood laying over there now. So I got all the junk plywood, all the moldy plywood burned up. I'm happy with that. Let's head inside. We're back out here, but I don't have very much time left. It's getting close to dinner time. I have to go and eat and then get ready and go to bed for work tomorrow. So the only thing I want to try to do now is get this one board put on that's coming down here. I already have everything cut. So let's go over to the saw, pick up the pieces, and try to get this installed today. Not very much left over after the fires all went out. Enough looking at the fire. Let's get this wood and get this project going. Got my blocks here, and I'm only gonna take the one board out because it's gonna rain the next couple days. I have my blocks, and basically I'm just going to do something like this, and then that other board will screw on right here. I have my 4 blocks attached. Let's see if this end rafter fits now. Okay, so it is slightly off, but it's close enough. It's a pig shelter. It's not a $1 million home here. Let's get a couple screws in here so I don't have to hold on to it any longer. Now that I got the rafters on, I can take this piece of plywood off. It was only to hold the upright perfectly straight up and down. Well, I think this is going to be a stopping point for today. I did get one end rafter put on, as you just saw, but also way over there used to be a whole bunch of junk plywood that I got burned, so I'm happy with that. I hate having clutter around. It just stresses me out. So I wanted to get plywood on the roof, but that's not going to happen. It's supposed to rain for the next couple days, and I'll catch up with you guys after it's done raining. I think we're going to take a little break from the project today because it's springtime and love is in the air. I think it's time for 2 of my bunnies to go on a date. So let's go over and arrange a date. Hi, Lola. Are you ready to go on a date? I know you're not gonna like me coming in your cage, but I have to have you go on a date. Ringo, you ready for your date? you. How are you gonna become a mummy if you don't let me put you in with your boyfriend, Ringo? Huh? You wanna be a mummy, don't you? You ready to go? That was a short one there, Ringo. Oh, Ringo, you gonna finish or what? I'm pretty sure Lola and Babs will be pregnant now, and Johnny Ringo did a good job. So let's get back to the project. I have 3 of the 4 fly rafters on. I got this one, the one right there under the tarp, and then also this one on this same side. Somehow though, I got the roof out of square. The bottom length is 92.5 inches and the top is 92 3/4 inches. It's a 1/4 inch out of square. I don't know how I did that, but I did. I'm not gonna worry about it with the plywood. I'll fix it with the roofing that I put on. So let's get the piece of plywood cut. I'm trying to decide, do I make this cut straight across at 92.5 the whole way, or do I do this end 92 3/4 and hope that end is straight, fits straight, and it's not a rhombus or whatever that is, a rectangle that's slanted. I guess what I could do is stick this up, put a screw in it, and then I can just trace the end and it'll be a perfect match then. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Okay, that side's definitely off. I think both sides are off somehow. I think my best bet is to cut both ends. Let it hang over just a little bit on both ends. Put 2 screws in it and trace them. Let's see how far off it is. Yep, 1.25 inches. And this is 2 3/8. And this side over here, inch and 5/16. And 2 1/4. Somehow I got this roof all out of square, but oh well, it's only a pig house. Let's get this traced so I can get it cut. That was cool, a sandhill crane just flew over. But let's get back to the build. When I was putting this piece of plywood on, it kept catching on something and I couldn't figure out what it was. It was actually catching on this little piece of plywood right here. I don't know how well you can see that. That little piece of plywood right there. So now I gotta cut it off. I'll catch it back up with you guys once I'm done. It's another beautiful day here in Alaska. It is supposed to rain this afternoon, so we need to get some stuff done before it rains. Today's project is we're still working on these pig houses, but I want to get this pig house to the same position where this one is. This one has all the rafters on and the plywood on the roof. I got the plywood on yesterday, so today I want to try to get all the rafters cut, installed, and the plywood on this roof over here. But first, there's something we have to do. It is the springtime here in Alaska, and that means one thing: mosquitoes are coming out. I've already killed a few mosquitoes over the last week, so it's time to get the mosquito magnet out and get it running to kill the mosquitoes. Right here's the mosquito magnet, so let's get it outside. We're down here in the woods. You want to keep mosquito magnets away from like your porch and stuff like that, because what it does is it attracts the mosquitoes to it. So if it's real close to your house or where you're working outside and stuff all the time, you'll get a lot of mosquitoes there. So this time I'm putting it down here in the woods. It should be fine, far enough away from the cabin, things like that. I got a full bottle of propane hooked up here. And now it also takes 4 size C batteries. You can get these where you also plug them in and they don't take batteries, but I knew I was going to have it a good ways away from electric, so I went with the battery option. Now that I have the propane hooked up and the batteries installed, there's one last thing we have to do before we turn it on. And right up in here, this comes out. And there's this. This is a mosquito smell good thing. It attracts them. So we got to replace this. Here's the new one. And you just stick it up in, and then you put the cap back up in. Now the only thing left to do is turn this thing on. I had the propane installed, I had the batteries installed. There's a little light right here. When I turn the power button on, it'll start clicking. That's the unit trying to light the igniter to light the propane. It'll be red, and eventually, hopefully it turns to green. If it turns to green, that means it's running correctly. It might take a little while, so what I normally do, I turn it on, and then I'll leave for a while and then come back and check it. It's trying to start. Normally it does this, so I just leave for like a half hour and come back and see if it started or not. If it doesn't start, then I have to run to town, get fresh batteries and put fresh batteries in. I have the main rafters installed. I have the 4 fly rafters I still have to do, but let's go over see if the mosquito magnet is working or not. Okay, you see it's blinking red. That means it did not start. Let's try it one more time. Turned it off. We'll let it try to start for a while, and if it doesn't start this time, the 4 C-size batteries that I put in, even though they were brand new, they must have been in the store for a long time, and they don't have quite the amperage that is needed to get this thing to start. So I'll have to run to the store and get new batteries. if you noticed or not, but these fly rafters are 2x6s. I ran out of 2x4s, and these are true dimension 2x4s, so you can't just run to the store and pick up 2x4s or anything. I have a bunch of 2x6s. I'm just gonna use the 2x6s. Now that I got all the rafters on, including the fly rafters, it's time for plywood. I have my first sheet of plywood over here. It is starting to rain, but it should only last for a few minutes, or maybe 10 or 15 minutes, that's it. So I'm gonna keep working through the rain. I need to get the piece of plywood up there. Some reason, it's out of square again. The top on this side is 72 inches, the bottom is about 72 and a half. On the other side, the top is 72 inches and the bottom is 71 and a half. I don't know how that happened. It did, but thankfully it's only a pig house. So let me get this lifted up, get a screw in, and then I'll trace the ends. That way it'll be nice and flush. I did say I was just gonna stay out here and work through the rain, but it started raining a little too hard, so I ran inside. It's about 10, maybe 15 minutes later, and the sun is back out. So let's get back to the build. This morning I ran to the grocery store, had a couple errands to run, things like that. And while I was in town, I picked up some new batteries for the Mosquito magnet. So let's go and put those in. These batteries are specifically made for electronics that are high drain on the battery, so hopefully they work better. And ironically, they were a little bit cheaper than the name brand batteries. Sounded like it was trying. I heard a little poof of like a flame starting, but it's still red. The little light's still red. It will turn green once it's actively working. We'll come back and check on it in a little bit. Let's get up to the build. I think I got my measurements off somewhere. I got the peak several inches too high. Oh yeah. $62 and a half, not 67. I'll recut this and be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. I have it test fitted. I just got to adjust it slightly when I nail it. And she fits pretty good, so let's get this nailed in. We're back down here by the mosquito magnet, and the light is green and it's working. So gotta have good batteries for this thing to light. Let's get back to the build. I just cut this, let's see if it fits. Got it a little short up here. Seems like I always get it short up in this area, but oh well. Coming right along. So I got all four sides in. Got the roof on. Oh wait, I forgot I gotta cut this little piece right here. This little piece. Let me get that cut and I'll be right back. Okay, now this one is finished on the outside. I have all four walls wrapped in plywood. This little piece took me a little while, had a lot of different cuts and stuff like that, but I finally got it. I'll catch up with you guys once I have the other one at this same stage. As you can see, I have all the plywood on the 2 pig houses, so that's going to wrap up this video. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see the final result of these 2 extreme cold weather Arctic Alaska pig houses. Thanks, everyone.